Good afternoon. Respected Dean Sir, Nadkar Sir, the fellow faculty members, and all those who are attending this webinar, a warm welcome for this webinar. And the topic which I am going to cover is pandemic management lessons from COVID-19. I am here not to talk about the virus, but to represent the thousands of my colleagues, my all support staff who were frontliners to combat this pandemic over last 10 months. Friends, as I was reading various articles, I got this one of the important article on reflections of COVID pandemic, and it was titled as Corona as a Teacher. In the true sense, this pandemic has taught us so many aspects, and that's why the apt title of this talk as what we learned from pandemic. It started with our self-learning, and thanks to Ministry of Health and Family Welfare, Government of India, and our own task force of Maharashtra, and the various guidelines and SOPs given by our own MCGM, where we got a clear idea for preparedness. And for any disaster, what is important is to be prepared for what is going to come. And in this particular pandemic, we were completely unaware of what we are going to face. Friends, our own training then culminated into training of our frontline workers, our own residents from our department and all other departments through series of such sessions, and also at times a midnight or a late evening sessions for those contract basis employees who contributed a lot by giving support, though they were completely unaware of what they are going to face in the COVID ICUs or wards. And yes, our evenings and Sundays went in taking the analysis and getting prepared for the challenges to come, with the higher authorities visiting our institute, and also series of meetings and on-site visits with the various engineers so that we get ready for the whatever load we will be facing. And then came the concept of hybrid version, since our institution were given the task of managing both COVID and non-COVID facilities, and we identified our hospital building as COVID facility and the CVTC and the multi-story building as non-COVID facilities, CVTC being predominantly for medicine and for surgery multi-story building. The creation of isolation facility need to be governed because there were guidelines for creating these facilities with specifications as separate rooms for donning doffing, a dead body room for the unfortunate victims of this disease, where they could be kept separately, and seeing the turnover of the patients. That was a real important facility or aspect of this guideline which we tried to implement in most of our wards. And this was happening during the big challenge of lockdown. The transportation, the availability of material and the manpower was a big challenge. However, the journey from 40 beds in the beginning to 400 COVID beds is a learning by itself. A surgical ward catering to various surgical emergencies in 2 days' time was converted into a COVID semi-ICU. The ENT ward, the optal ward, they lost their own structure rather, and all the beds became oxygenated beds overnight. What is important is for such a facilities, we should have state of the art COVID ICUs. And luckily, as we began and I took over as COVID facility creation in charge, in April 2020 through Tata Projects and then till August 2020 by Capgemini, we had a wonderful creation of the COVID ICUs. From March 2020 till date, these facilities have catered to more than 12,000 patients, and most of these patients were critical or semi-critical. The stable patients we were to transfer by a very smooth transfer process of our logistic team to various CCCs and other centers. And each such ICU required all these equipments, all these COVID facilities were equipped with all these high-end equipments and also with government facilities and through a lot of NGOs and the firms supporting this particular this particular time, we could have all these facilities free for our patients round the clock. Obviously, when we were planning logistics, what sort of equipments, what sort of consumable, what sort of drugs need to be given to a particular COVID ICU or COVID wards, we had made shortlisting. We had guidelines from international agencies where we converted it into the local logistics where we could equip our wards in a matter of a day or two with all those essential equipments and items. This enabled us to smoothly function, and as the number of patients in the EMS used to increase more than 30 at a time, there used to be a creation of a new facility, the new ward is to get opened, and this is what happened with the coordinated efforts of all the entire team of this institute. Yes, these logistics also had a detailed kind of inputs in the form of provision of hot and cold water, not only for the patients but also for the healthcare providers of those wards. And also a concern was there for washing the clothes, because obviously the central laundries would not accept such clothes which are infected with COVID-19, and that's why in-house in those ICUs we had provision of washing and drying the clothes. Yes, the CCF OPD, the entry gate of this particular patients coming with cough, cold, fever, managed so efficiently the aspect of analysis of the patients, categorizing them to various aspects of COVID, non-COVID, and also suspecting them as SARI patients, and then the mammoth arrangements done by Department of Microbiology for collecting the swab. It was so smoothly done, and ultimately whatever happened was definitely helping us in managing the overloaded emergency departments. So that is where the cascade of events which happened once the patient came after CCF OPD till the time patient actually got admitted or went to a stable facility or maybe a CCC, this happened very smoothly. And that was a learning experience by itself. Now what was important was the number of patients entering the EMS at any given entry point during the peak months was tremendously high. And then to avoid any patient not being getting oxygen, when this actual EMS was functioning with the efforts of our own engineers from various fields, we could have these extra points, and they actually turned out to be a life-saving measures for the patients from all parts of Mumbai. The patients were flowing in KEM, and that is how we could manage them. So the initial capacity was rather doubled by in next 2 days when we had put these particular oxygen points, and overall each and every bed out of those 400, it was 90 to 95% of the beds were made oxygenated bed, and that was the strength of this particular facility, because then we could cater to so many big number of patients. Obviously, in a pandemic like this, what is important is the three aspects: the food, the clothing or the protection, and the shelter. Tata Cats came forward with these kind of packed food, a very hygienic and healthy food, maybe little more extra calories, but that was needed at that time. And all the time, Department of Microbiology continuously keeping a vigil on a sustained supply of PPE kits, where no shortage of a quality products of PPE kits, and that is why I used to always tell my residents that COVID doesn't get transmitted inside the COVID ward, because you have foolproof, tested all the PPE kits which are there. And then again, the Tatas came up with these facilities for our COVID warriors to stay in their various hotels and restaurants. And that is how the main three components of the essential commodities of life were met in these difficult times. Million thanks to all these people. And obviously, a Hetal touch, providing a nutritious diet to all those COVID warriors around every 15 days, ensuring we all remember Hetal for your great contribution in this, your attitude or your humanity concepts. And for all this smooth process of patient being discharged, because once the patient is stable from ICU, we need to discharge these patients, and that is why a coordinated transport mechanism managed by pre and paraclinical department was supporting our department like anything. Yes, and definitely a effective communication by means of various apps, and rather we use WhatsApp like anything. The Ward 6, the WhatsApp app which was made on 8th of August by me is still functional, and that is what is the importance of this particular apps. See, at a glance we could see the entire whatever is the occupancy of KEM, and accordingly we could decide about the all the aspects of future. Now, what is important is the human resource management, because all the departments, preclinical, paraclinical, super specialty, basic sciences were contributing, and what was most important was giving them 6-hour schedule. And this 6-hour schedule was so nicely implemented, and subsequently we also could implement in the ICUs for the nurses also. Then came getting a challenge, because as the COVID warriors were working, though they were taking care maximum in the wards or in the ICUs, there was a barrier breakage, and then 19 of our own departmental residents and 10 of our faculty members from the Department of Medicine had to be admitted during this particular period, and then we lost lot of human hours because of that. Yes, unfortunate fear factor, and then readiness to tackle this also came simultaneously, not only through the BMC supply but also through the donations of the great donors. And what about the self and family management? It was a difficult task. Not only me, but several of our department faculty members and residents and all other COVID warriors had faced similar kind of tough time in their life. And then we need to be prepared, and that's why the Department of Psychiatry came forward to counsel us, to take a session for us for this very apt purpose. Obviously, the strength, if I say about our department, is the cohesiveness, and I may say that yes, many people envy this cohesiveness of our department. The strength, our PG students of all the years who have forgotten their studies, forgotten their family, and were with us shoulder to shoulder, not only our department, but all the departments which worked with us. The success stories, definitely yes. When the patients more than 80s used to walk home, they were made competent by the team of physiotherapists, and a publication came ultimately in the Index Journal. And two birds I saw in my COVID ICU days. These are the moments, there are so many such moments to cherish. And yes, whatever the efforts went, they went in a proper direction. Ultimately, the tasks of these institutes continue and now becoming a very important center under the able leadership of Community Medicine Department, Vellad sir, where we got our dose and the vaccine is being given. Every whatever slots are there are being utilized to the maximum capacity, and that is what is the important aspect. Friends, the strength of this particular team is the power within. Power within these twin institutes, the St. GS Medical College and the KM Hospital, the strong pillars which are there, which are standing for last 95 years and giving courage to all of us to fight. Friends, the logo itself is sufficient to tell the success story. The logo tells not for self, but for all. Whatever happened was not for awards, but for rewards. Rewards of happiness, rewards of fulfillment, rewards of blessings, rewards of love and affection of city of Mumbaikars, where these lot of n number of people have gave us blessings throughout our journey. Thank you, friends, and any questions I'll be happy to answer. Thank you.